It's time to get real with Eddie, here to help you understand the changing real estate market and meet your real estate goals. Over 19 years in the business, 2018 Realtor of the Year, current president of Three Rivers, director at the Illinois Association of Realtors, and team lead of the Rudiger Group at Baird & Warner. Here's Eddie Rudiger.
It's Tuesday at noon, and it is time to get real with Eddie. Once again, we are here talking real estate. Well, I am here, and this August schedule is just crazy for everybody. So on the phone, I have from the Federal Savings Bank is Terry Trotter Early, NMLS 579177. Did I get that right? 579177?
You did.
I did.
Got it.
Terry, how are you doing?
Oh, doing great. And the flurry of back to school with kids' schedules and work and everything else. I'm happy to be here with you.
It has been crazy on how busy everybody seems to have been lately, and with everything that's going on. I'm just amazed. I really am amazed on how busy I have been, how busy other people have been, and everything that's been going on overall in just not just the market, but just with people's schedules and things along that nature. I mean, it really doesn't surprise me that, you can't make it in the studio. Nancy's tied up today also. But hey, we're still here and we're still talking real estate. And I wanted to start off with talking about Realtor Magazine came out a week ago with the top 10 issues for real estate in 2021. So I thought this was a pretty cool article. It's what's the biggest things affecting real estate. Number one is remote work mobility. And hey, look what we're doing. You're doing a radio show. You're on the phone. I'm in studio talking about remote work mobility. I mean, I think it's just the theme of 2021 and probably going forward.
I think that's one of the positive things that has come out of, the chaos of 2020 is that we've all gotten really creative in how to work in different situations and how to make things work.
Yeah, and it is probably one of the best things that has come out of all of this is being more productive with your time, better use of technology, and those aspects. And that's the second point that they talk about is technology, acceleration, and innovation. It really has been innovating on to see how you change and do things differently. I mean, we were doing electronic signatures way before COVID, but now you've got, virtual showings. That was almost frowned upon in our marketplace. No. You can't go in and do FaceTime. Is it an easy way to do it? You can't go in and do a Zoom showing. Now go right ahead. Yeah, you're sure. What? Fine. It's just a completely different concept now.
And we talked about that in our bank meeting just Monday morning about how we're noticing most buyers, we do our pre-approval over Zoom and that face-to-face interaction. And buyers are loving that because they don't have to waste that time in traveling in transit. So we're seeing that as kind of we think it's probably going to be a permanent shift, how we do business. So, yeah.
So the third point that they brought up in this article was ESG at a tipping point. And so ESG was an acronym because, our industry loves these acronyms. That seems to be new to me. I've never come across it before. And it stood for environmental, social, and governance. Innovates are growing. In 2020, ESG funds more than doubled net new money intakes. The growth in recent years is fueled by multiple drivers, including consumer shifts, regulatory requirements, trillions of dollars of wealth transfer to Generation Z and millennials. Committed to I cannot say philanthropic.
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 Yep.
There we go. I always get tongue-tied on that word, amongst others. and a blurring of work societal expectations and a full spirit to attract, retain top talent. So I think this really goes into the aspect is, you know, both on the work front and the home front, it's not just about price. It's about the experience. It's about the, everything. There's so much more that goes into stuff. On the work front, it'd be how much you get paid. It's more than what you get paid. And then on the home front, it's more than just, okay, how much am I paying for a house? It's the amenities of the property and what the benefits are of it.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Logistics definitely is coming into play. We see that in our market when port, rail lines, pipelines, manufacturing, warehousing, you're seeing a lot of the logistical stuff coming to light and at a bigger pace and a bigger notation. So, which goes into the next one, because of course with logistics comes infrastructure. So the civil engineers estimate the U.S. infrastructure funding gap in 2021 to be 2.6 trillion, a 24% increase compared to 2017. The COVID-19 pandemic, climate change, and heightening social interest in social and economic equality have reaffirmed infrastructure. So I think infrastructure is playing a big deal, and you're seeing that in the budgetary stuff that's going on in Washington. They're talking about not just physical infrastructure, but people infrastructure. So that's coming to play in different ways and different aspects. But here locally, you look at the infrastructure, and we're seeing a lot of road construction. You're seeing work being done on 80. You're seeing work being done on 55. You're seeing and now some of those are just, basically patches to hold us over, where you're seeing new development infrastructure like at the Weber Road and 55 interchange. That's going to that divergent interchange, and I believe that's 2 years into a 5-year project. So, you're seeing some of that infrastructure get into the aspects of 2021. So political polarization they brought up. So political friction is holding back America's economy productivity. So that's an interesting thought that they're looking at this on this article, that they think the polarization of our political system being so far left and so far right, and, just everybody in their corner is holding back that productivity of where we could go and what we could accomplish. So that is definitely, I think, way out of our hands and not my expertise. That is for sure there.
I'm with you.
Economic struggles and changes. So we're seeing economic growth is mostly an unknown. I don't know about that. We've seen some great economic numbers, and we've seen some people holding a good amount of personal wealth. We saw debt pay down dramatically in 2020. So I don't know if that's necessary. It's like it was like the first year where consumer debt went down instead of going up.
Yeah.
So I don't know where don't get me wrong. I understand that there's individuals struggling. There's individuals out there that's having problems and concerns. But that's an interesting concept that gets into, and then bifurcation of capital markets. So debit capital markets have been voluntary since the pandemic, namely public markets like commercial mortgage-backed securities, mortgage REITs, and agencies such as Freddie and Fannie Mac. Mortgage REITs took a significant hit earlier in the pandemic, with some recent recovery driven by restructuring credit lines and paying down credit facilities that emerged on margin calls. So any idea, or any thoughts on this bifurcation? The mortgage REITs.
Not really.
The mortgage REITs.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about those. Some of those are a lot more commercial products, I think.
I was going to say, it could be that from the commercial standpoint, they're We can see buildings and businesses that have gone under due to 2020 and not being able to be open. But from what I do, the residential mortgages, that's been very strong. So I've not seen any hindrances from that.
And when you're looking at Freddie and Fannie, all right, so Freddie and Fannie, both, yeah, last I saw, I think the stock is like $1.03 and $1.19 roughly, which it was under $1.20 the last I saw. It may have gone up. That was like last week. I haven't seen it this week and seen where it's at just yet. But when you're looking at the stock, it hasn't been above $3 or $4. It hasn't been above $4 since the last 5 years, maybe going on 6. And I think part of that is they're still owned partially by the government, and they have the majority equity stake. So I think when you're looking at them as a capital market, and they're not going up from a stock point of view, you're not going to have investors going there when there's no dividend play. You're not seeing growth on the stock itself because the government's coming in and doing sweeps of the funds and taking the profit out. I mean, last I saw, they've taken 8 times or to 10 times the amount of money that they needed to borrow to keep themselves solvent. So it's just an interesting aspect on that. So these are according to Realtor Magazine, these are the top 10 issues in real estate going into right now. So these are the top 10 issues affecting real estate in 2021. So none of these, I don't think these are really out there in the local aspect, in the local consumer's mind. I think right now, the biggest aspect that's really affecting consumers is just burnout and frustration.
Right, because of just not enough choices and the highly competitive situation that they find themselves in.
Correct. And speaking of, survey. Bidding wars aren't the big problem anymore. So this came also from Realtor Magazine last week on the 9th. So they did a survey. Let me see who was doing the survey here. 66% of buyers who were actively engaged in a search for a home in the second quarter say they've spent 3 months looking without success. 3 months. Wow. That's just shocking.
Oh, I mean, it is, but it really isn't. I've got pre-approvals and people that are out there looking that I've tried numerous times and haven't won a home yet or won the bid yet. So, yeah, I know people right now that are dealing with that.
In the fourth quarter of 2020 and the first quarter of this year, active housing hunters blamed being outbid by other offers as the most common reason for their inability to make a purchase. But the top reason changed in the second quarter. More would-be buyers said that high home prices are sliding them lately. According to the Housing Trends Report, so that's where this is, a survey from the National Association of Home Builders, 39% of active buyers surveyed said the inability to find an affordable priced home was the main reason they couldn't buy. So you're looking at can't find a home at the price I can afford was number 1. Getting outbid was number 2. Number 3 was can't find a home with the features I want. That was actually number 4. Can't find a home in the neighborhood I wanted was actually number 3, and it just outbeat the other one slightly. So finding a price so affordability is coming into play now, finally. And I think that is going to continue as if we see interest rates start ticking up. The prices are one thing.
Well, yeah, that makes sense. So with all the outbidding that everybody's having to do to get a property, that does change their payment. That changes how much money to bring to the table. That has an impact.
it's going to have an interesting impact in our market because of the way we do property taxes too. There's a 4-year quadrennial maneuver. So every 4 years, there's that reassessment. So as these new prices and new sales start funneling in, and as the tax assessor starts going, you're going to see prices on property taxes start going up. That's going to be the next big concern. That's going to be the next big issue. I think you're 2 years out from it. I don't think you'll see those impacts until 2023. You may start seeing some shadows in 2022 of it. You know what I'm saying? But they're going to be looking backwards at 2021's tax numbers, and you're still going to have in the 4 years you'd have 18, 19, 20, 21. So you're not going to have those completely sharp spikes. The 18s will offset the 2021s, but once you get into 19, we had a pretty dominant year in 19.
Right.
There was some good home property increases in a lot of markets in 19. So it's going to be interesting to see how the tax aspect affects homeowners as we move forward. So overall, the most long-term house hunters aren't willing to give up. So they're staying in the market. The share who are likely to put off their home search until next year or later has declined over the last 2 quarters, dropping to 20% in the second quarter. Home buyers continue to search for the right home, even if it takes more than 3 months to finally find one at their price point. So they're not giving up, and they're keeping moving forward. I think that's an interesting aspect. I think one aspect is to look for condos. So
that's a good idea.
I mean, so our next article talks about those condos. Looking for a place to call home, consider a condo. So, no secret that one of the top stories in today's real estate market is low housing supply and higher buyer demand. If you are a first-time home buyer looking for a starter home, or are someone who's interested in downsizing, it may be worth considering a condominium as a worthwhile option. In fact, trends indicate condos are gaining popularity among buyers, and the latest exiting home sales report from the National Association of Realtors, the data shows condo sales are rising throughout the first half of this year. We're seeing that locally too, and we've been talking about that on the show. That you're seeing condos selling, and you're seeing the competitiveness on the condos because that price of original list, that percentage is getting higher and higher and higher. Those were
okay. Here's my question:
yes.
How of the Joliet, Shorewood, Plainfield area, how much of the available homes, and you might not know this, but how much of the homes how much are really condos? Are we talking that's 10% of our market?
Will County's housing structure is about 70% single family. I can comment on that. And 30% attached. All right. So that could be condos, duplexes, townhouses.
Okay.
All right. And when I say, me personally, a true condo, we have a smaller supply of a true condo of what some people would list as a true condo. We have a larger supply, I think, of townhouses. It looks like a townhouse. It smells like a townhouse. Guess what? The HOA docs are a condo. It's condo, believe it or not, even though it looks like a townhouse. And as you know, that has implications and concerns and a different process when it comes to financing.
It does, yeah.
So that is the balance, and that is the thing. If it's a condo HOA, you have to have the condo HOA to be approved through FHA. If you're going FHA, very few in our market overall are FHA approved. You do have spot approvals, but every complex is only issued one spot approval, from my understanding, period. Not one a year, just one. And
we have a condo department, so I don't have that part memorized, but yeah. I very well could be right.
Yeah. So looking in the months, in January, there was 39,000 condo sales. In June of this year, 72. So almost near doubled, but not quite. Not quite. You'd be probably around 80,000. You're at 72. So we're seeing condos move up here, and nationally, median sales price of a home, $370,000, 600 is what they're using. That's a high number. I've never seen that number for a median sales price of a house in the United States. But median sales price of a condo, $311,600, a $59,000 difference.
I think that's high as well.
I think that's how. Yeah, our condos are not in the 300,000 range in our market. We have some 200,000s. There's a few 300s, but that's not. It's not the median.
Yeah.
It's definitely not the median price of a condo, in our market. So just some interesting thoughts on that. So, let's actually look at some areas that have at least a good amount of attached housing, and that's Manuka. So we haven't talked about Manuka numbers in a while, and I figured this would be just an interesting twist to look at Manuka. So still looking at June numbers. I have not seen July's just yet. New listings, they had 22 new listings in June of this year. Under contract 23, 17 on closed sales. This is all the single family. Median sales price of a single family house in Manuka is $301,800. That is up 1.1%. So that's not a big increase month over month in the median sales price from June of last year. So I think that shows you where the pandemic actually started kicking in and catching up from last year is the June numbers. Mm-hmm. Average sales price, $339,350. Now, the average is up 15.3% over last year, and the percentage of a list price this year was 101.8%, up 4.7%. That shows the competitiveness of the market. If you were looking to buy a Manuka at the end of June, you had 16 units available for you to choose from on a single family side. The trailing 12 months, you were looking at an average sales price of $291,357, up 4.4%. Market time on the trailing 12 months was 49 days. Market time in June was actually 55 days. So the trailing 12 months is actually lower than what the market time has been was June of this year. That's
interesting.
That is interesting. That's something I think a stat we're going to need to watch and see how that plays out. Looking at the attached, 14 new listings, 10 under contract, and 13 closed in June in Manuka. Last year, 5 closed, 160% increased in attached homes sold. And there's your number difference right there when we're talking condos. I mean, this is attached, but many of those attached are condo docs in that area. So average sales price, $200,787, up 13.1%. Percentage of original list, 101.9% of original list price, and 5 condos were available at the end of the month. So between attached and detached, you had a total of 21 units to pick from.
Every week, I know you go over numbers, and I know you share the inventory of homes for sale at the end of the month, and I'm blown away that it's so small. Every week, it surprises me.
Yeah, and you look at now, inventory of homes for sale at the end of the month for June on attached. Last year, there was 5 units. This year, there was 5 units. 0% of percent. Inventory of homes for sale on attached. Last year there was 32 units. This team it was 16 units, so it's a 50% decrease in inventory, showing that you definitely have a bigger supply, a bigger demand for single family. So, all right. With that being said, we're going to take a short break. Keep it here, and we'll be back with Get Real with Eddie. Welcome back to Get Real with Eddie. Hey, if you have any requests or need any information on buying or selling your house, give me a call at the Rudiger Group at Baird and Warner. We'd love to help you out and answer any of your questions. You can reach me at 815-823-5478. Again, it's 815-823-5478. All right. I wanted to look at something I don't think we've talked about in a while, because we keep hearing GDP numbers and economy and all of this stuff. And I think people forget the community and economic impacts of selling a house. There is a big, big job engine creation when a property is sold. So the National Association of Realtors released a report each year that highlights just how much economic activity a home sale generates. The chart below shows us the findings of that impact. So now I can't really show you a chart here, but here's what we got. A newly built home has a $93,800 impact to the economy. An existing home has a $45,600 impact. Income generated from the real estate industry, $26,100 from one sale. One sale.
And before everybody thinks, oh, that's going only to realtors, that is not true. That would be for attorneys involved, title companies, banks, real estate agents, insurance agents. There's a whole lot of people, that appraisers, home inspectors that are involved in one transaction.
Underwriters, lending. I mean, they say that there's 9 jobs to 10 jobs created on it. I mean, you could have inspections, secondary inspections. There's more than one type of inspection, so you may need one type of inspector. I mean, so expenditures related to a home purchase. So this gets into your moving companies, things like that. Boxes, you need tape, you need things along those lines. $4,700. Okay. Multiplier of housing related expenditures. I don't understand the multiplier of housing related expenditures. What would you think that is?
So I would assume it would be like appliances, blinds.
Oh yeah,
mowers,
new furniture, stuff like that.
Like furniture, yeah.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. So because the next door neighbor sold his property through Baird and Warner, and the new neighbor came in. And when the new neighbor came in, I offered him to borrow my weed whacker because I noticed they were brand new owners and they didn't have a weed whacker. And he's like, "Oh no, we just got one from Amazon." So, yeah, I didn't even think about that impact. So yeah, you're looking at all those, and then this is where the new construction comes in. You have $48,300 when it comes to new construction because you're building the house. The cost between labor and materials and goods to build that house and employ the individuals that are being employed and everything. I mean, that's a huge impact. So they did a deeper dive. NAR also provides a detailed look at how various state by state for new build homes and the economic impact. Illinois, $75,000 on Illinois. So that 93 is a national number. Illinois is a 75,000, which makes sense because the economic impact if I was building in California is $196,000. $151,000 in Washington. Alaska is $103,000. That surprised me. And Hawaii wins the cake. No, it does not. Oh yeah, I think Hawaii does. Hawaii is at $262,000. Where is it? DC is $254,000 to build in District of Columbia.
What I find interesting as well is the lowest number I'm seeing is $59,000. So huge. That's still a huge impact.
What state is that? I missed
West
it.
Virginia, it's looking like.
West Virginia is 59,000. Vermont is 90,000 impact. That's amazing. So I mean, so this is the amount of money that a home purchase or new construction pumps into the economy. So, Allie Wolf, chief economist for Zonda, talks about this in a recent article, noting there's a significant impact at each distinct phase of the transaction. She says the housing market contributes to the economy in four main stages: during planning and land development, throughout the actual construction of the home, at the point of sale, and upon moving in. And you know what?
Because we handle at the point of sale and moving in, I never even thought about the developers and all of the construction crews that go into making the infrastructure for that subdivision needs to be. Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah, usually they say for infrastructure on a house, I've heard anywhere from 30 to 40,000. I think it's a little higher now because of inflation. I think you're pushing 50,000 per house. To have sewers, streets, water to the gas, all of those infrastructure items.
Yeah,
I mean that's a pretty amazing stuff. So, it just impresses me on how big. And if you think about it, that one house, all right, that one house was built. And let's say you got the average person stays there 7 years, because let's go 10 years. Right now, I think we're still sitting at the 10-year average. So one house in 100 years, okay, will create how much growth to an economy?
Oh, yeah.
Because you think about it, you've got the sale on the first one, that's 93,000 on average, and then you've got 45 times the next 9.
Yeah.
I mean, that's almost. I mean, you're probably around $600,000 in economic growth. Be a little less than that, I think, doing quick math in my head, but in over 100 years per house.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah. So, all right. So there's a surprising shift favoring homeowners. Buyers now prefer existing homes. So we had a shift where everybody was running to the builders. Now, in April, the National Association of Home Builders posted an article, Home Buyers' Preferences Shift Towards New Construction, which reported 60% of people who were looking to buy a home in 2020 said they prefer new construction. However, it seems buyers are now shifting back to existing homes. There's a reason for this. I saw another article. All right, so prospective buyers fourth quarter 2020. All right. New construction 42%. That's down 9% to 33% on the buyers. Where existing homes were 31% in 2020 in the fourth quarter, and in 2021 second quarter, that is up to 35%. So you're seeing a shift back. You still have a group that is swinging in the either category, which I think justifies our current mix of what is going on in the market in the supply aspect. 32% over 27. So a lot of them shifted out of the new construction, I think, to existing, and to either picked up a little, or new construction or existing picked up a little bit, and then either picked up a little bit. But here's what I'm seeing. I saw an article on TD Ameritrade site that was talking about the fact builders are basically sold out. They have sold out houses all the way through 2022 right now.
So their lots, you mean, or their capacity for their work with the amount of people they have?
The capacity to get with the orders that they have completed right now, they can't get stuff finished. They can't build the houses fast enough.
They have orders that are supposed to be done in like October, November, December. Those are probably going to be rolling dates back. You're seeing the struggle in reaching these orders. So the article here talks about there are two impacts on the purchases. The process may move faster, which that's the big thing right now with builders. You know, builders are running into supply chain issues, and they're running into labor issues. And, you know, it's really hard to find a refrigerator or a range or something to put into those deals and in those contracts into the home. The other aspect is the unexpected costs. Price of land, labor, and lumber has been going up in the last couple months and skyrocketing. We have seen some builders that are putting writers onto it going, yeah, we'll do this, but you need to understand we can't give you a solid price yet until we get the materials locked up. So
that's tough too.
Yeah, that's tough too. So, all right, we're going to take a short break. Before we hit break, I want to quickly talk about the duplex. If you're looking for affordability and attached, here you go. This is a 2-bedroom with a full basement duplex, 1-car garage. You have 2 bathrooms, one on the main floor that's a shared master, one in the basement, and it's a 1,230 square foot ranch duplex. This is a big house because it has a full finished basement. So when you look at the total square footage, you're looking at 2,400 square feet if you're looking at both living space up and down. You know, the downstairs features a rec room, a office, workout room, 2 different storage areas, the second bathroom, which I'm sorry, I love bathrooms in when the basement is finished, I think you have to have a bathroom.
Yeah.
No one wants to run up the stairs. You know, and this is a full bathroom. So with jet tubs, and the main bath upstairs has an amazing skylight that gives you all this natural lighting. Master bath has a tray ceiling. The living room upstairs is a vaulted ceiling. It's definitely a great unit. $150,000 went on last week. So set your appointment. It's not going to be around much longer, I think. So give me a call.
Wait a minute. I just read, is there no homeowners association fee?
Oh, yeah. By the way, there's no HOA fee on this duplex.
That's nice.
Yes. So give me a call at the Rudiger Group at Baird & Warner, 815-823-5478. Again, 815-823-5478. All right, we're going to take a quick break. After the break, I want to go and over, are you ready to sell? We're going to look at existing or new building. Let's talk about it here on Get Real with Eddie. All right, welcome back to Get Real with Eddie. And Terry, if someone is looking for a home mortgage or they're looking to refinance while these rates are still low before they start sneaking up, where can they give you a call at?
Absolutely. So my cell phone is the best way to get a hold of me. It's 815-712-7848.
All right, so pre-existing or building, what do you think, Terry?
What do you mean? If I were looking to buy something?
Yes.
I don't know.
Let's take a look at it.
I don't know.
So we're going to do the pros for existing housing first, okay? So,
okay.
Pros for existing homes. You get to explore a wide variety of home styles and floor plans. I completely agree with that. All right? It's an established neighborhood. That one I don't agree with. I think that can go 50-50 because we still have builders that are finishing off established neighborhoods from the Great Recession, let's be honest. I'm seeing some builders starting into new neighborhoods in some areas, but that depends. It just depends on the project. But I'll give it, let's say 60-40. We'll say that goes to a pro for existing only 60% of the time, not 100%.
Okay.
Enjoy mature trees and landscaping. Okay.
For sure.
Still, because of the Great Recession and builders finishing off, actually, I'm going to still give it to that, but only 70% of the time. I'll give them a little more because obviously it takes a lot more for a tree to grow and stuff like that. But yeah, I think that is it is something to think about. All right. Appreciating that lived-in charm. I don't know about that one. I think they're reaching for that.
Yeah, I don't even know what that means.
that you're appreciating that someone owned the house before you, I guess. I don't know about that one. All right. Pros for building a home. Creating your perfect home from the ground up. I don't know if that's 100% true for that. I'll give him 80%.
Yeah.
Because in today's market and what we're seeing in a lot, if you're truly wanting to build the perfect home, you're going to have a lot more control. Not every builder gives you the ability to move a wall or do this or do that. Sometimes, depending on the builder, you may walk in and the builder's like, nope, this is our floor plan. Nope, these are our color options. So you have some control. But I would not say you could always have total control. So
that makes sense.
I'll give him 80%. Cashing in on energy efficiency, I would say almost 100%. 100% that goes to new construction. Because I can have a home, a pre-existing house. Yes, they would have to be energy efficient, have to have all new windows, completely sealed correctly. You'd have to have extra insulation in the attic. You would have to have, a energy efficient furnace, energy efficient water heater. You'd have to have energy efficient thermostat. I mean, there's so many things on a pre-existing home on the energy efficiency side that I think new construction has. So I would say if that's not 95% to them, at the lowest, it's definitely 100.
Yeah, I agree.
Minimize the need for repairs and upgrades. I give them 90 on that. I mean, because you go into some new construction, and there's things you want to upgrade right off the bat. You may want a backsplash. That's the easiest one I can point out. So, but it's not as much, and should be zero repairs on new construction. Knowing you have everything brand new. That, 100%. Most builders have anywhere from a 12 to 13-month warranty. Most builders have a warranty aspect where you're looking at, 10 years on structural for most. You got to check with each individual builder to see what their true warranties are. Washer, dryer, if you're getting those units, that's new. Refrigerator, stoves, new. Microwaves, new. Those are all new. So it's a valid point on that. So now I ask you, pre-existing or new construction? Have we put you one way or the other?
I personally am a pre-existing girl only because what I struggle with, I'm so visual. I cannot visualize a building plan to see how much space do I actually have? How would my furniture lay out? So for me, I'm existing.
So for you pre-existing, with the exception, let's say here's the model. Terry, I've got Model A. The Model A is built. Here's the model. You can actually go into the model. We're building this exact same unit on this lot. Then now we have maybe. But you have to be able to walk the exact model that you're... And that's understandable. I
am super visual. And I also love big trees and mature... I love that. I think it helps with privacy, which is a concern for me, which is another reason why I think I would swing to existing. Because you can see it. You know exactly what you're getting. You don't have to wait years for trees to come.
You know that finished product. You know that, especially on the privacy side, exactly if I'm building, and I'm the first one in a corner lot, I don't know exactly how the other unit's facing. I don't know what unit they're getting. I don't know if there's a window that's facing my master bedroom window. Those are great points that and I've had those conversations with clients. Yeah.
That's just my quirkiness, I suppose.
All right, so one more thing before we get out of here today. Sellers making today's home price appreciation work for you. This was an interesting article that was up on our site. You can go to getrealwitheddy.com. We had this out there. Here's what 3 leading industry experts have to say about what lies ahead. All right, home prices continue to rise as we move through the summer, and that's good news for sellers who are looking to maximize their home's potential. If you're on the fence, here you go. Lawrence Yun, chief economist from the National Association of Realtors. At a broad level, home prices are in no danger of declining due to tight inventory conditions, but I do expect prices to appreciate at a slower pace by the end of the year. There we go. I wonder if people are going to call that a crash or here comes the bubble or things like that, because I anticipate that.
No.
Selma Hepp, a deputy chief economist at CoreLogic. I think this person is new. I've never seen a quote from Selma. The imbalance between robust demand and dismal availability for sale homes has led to a continuing bid over asking price, which reached record levels in recent months. Nevertheless, with more new listings and new home construction, home prices accelerate. That has built up momentum and continues to reach new heights, will likely slow later this summer. Interesting. But it's going to remain in double digits, he said. And then Georgia Ratu, chief economist for Realtor.com. I guess Daniel Hale is not with them anymore.
Yeah.
Intriguing. It's George. I'm sorry, not Georgia. Many sellers are going to take advantage of higher prices. This summer is going to signal the move to the next chapter, and this will very much be the year they're going to put their home on the market. I agree. I think you're going to see more houses coming onto the market. You're going to see slightly less demand because some people have decided to step out, and we'll still see prices appreciate. But you're going to stop seeing the multiple offers. We're going to get back into what I would see as a 3 to 4 month market and market time. That's where I think we're going to be for the rest of the end of the year at this point. So we will see how that plays out. You're still going to have that one hot property or 2 hot properties where it's just crazy multiple bids. So, all right, with that being said, we're going to wrap it up here at Get Real with Eddie. Don't forget, you always check out our website at getrealwitheddy.com and stick around here for ABC News.
Thanks for listening to Get Real with Eddie. Eddie Rudiger is a realtor at Baird & Warner in Plainfield, license number 475141896. Managing broker Steve Engel. For more information on your neighborhood, call Eddie at 815-823-5478 or visit yourdwellings.com.